Welcome here to Bethel Women's Basketball Media Day here up above the Gates Gymnasium inside the Y Camp Athletic Center on the campus of Bethel University here in Mishawaka, Indiana. So glad that you could join us once again. My name's Tanner Camp here, filling in for Paul Conji right now, and right now we're joined by Scott Polsgrove, the first-year head coach here for the Bethel Pilots women's basketball team. And Coach, of course, you know, we've kind of seen you in a different spot for the men's team as you were on as an assistant coach with the men's team with Steve Draben's squad. So just tell us a little bit about the process of officially becoming the head coach here for the Bethel Pilots women's basketball team.
Yeah, I don't know that you have enough time for all that, but I was very fortunate to kind of be in the right place at the right time, and very excited to be here, and very glad to have the opportunity to coach these ladies.
Yeah, and you know, the one thing is that people need to understand is that you have a little bit of experience as a coach, you know, at Eastern Nazarene College and, of course, at Avery County High School, and so a lot of different experience that you have. Is there anything in particular from your previous stops as a coach that have really kind of implemented, or what you have implemented into your offense or your defense, or just even the team culture in general?
You know, I think it's the experiences I've had through my whole coaching career, and you know, we've kind of put things together over the years, kind of figured out what works and what doesn't work, and we'll continue to work on that this year. And then after 34 years on the men's side to be coaching the women, there's a learning curve there as well. But again, just very excited to be doing this, and really excited to be working with these young ladies here.
Yeah, you just talked perfectly about that. You know, coaching men and coaching women can be two completely different ways on how you coach in this case. And so is there anything that has been a little different about coaching for a women's team than on the flip side for a men's team? Because, you know, this team has shown resilience in the Grinnell system last year under former coach Doug Porter. But is there anything in particular that you've really wanted to focus on while coaching, or your first go around with coaching a women's team?
Well, I would just say this. The women have done a great job of listening and trying to do what we're asking them to do. Their effort has been great. We're through 11 practices so far as of this morning, and we have made really good progress. So as far as the differences, you know, out on the recruiting trail this summer, it seemed like every female coach that I ran into, whether it was a high school coach or a college coach, told me to make sure I coached the women just like I coached the men. So got a little bit of advice there on the recruiting trail, but again, just we're working hard. We're very glad to be at the point we are right now, and look forward to hopefully making a lot of progress as we go through the course of the year.
Yeah, and then the three players that we'll be talking to throughout the course of Bethel Media Day, you know, Maya Shelton, Nyla Assad, and Abby Williams. And I like the diversity in terms of, you know, Nyla Assad, a junior. She kind of she was Crossroads League honorable mention last year. You know, Maya Shelton as a freshman last year, also Crossroads League honorable mention. Then, of course, Abby Williams, another sophomore. So when you just kind of decide, when we kind of really picked those three players and who we'll be talking to, what do those three players in particular, what have they done at this point during practices that has really made them stand out so far?
Well, just the work ethic and the energy that they bring to practice each day. We can count on them to make we're going to need to count on them to make plays both on the offensive and defensive ends of the floor. Their skill level is one that we've got to have to be able to compete in the Crossroads League, and then the experience that they bring to the table with Nyla being a junior, but with all the playing time that Maya and Abby got last year, we're going to really count on them to lead us on the floor and off the floor.
And of course, you know, last year with this women's team, definitely a different style with the Grinnell system, you know, 5 in, 5 out every 2 minutes, in a very high-paced game where they tried to shoot a lot of threes and just really go up and down the floor. Just tell us a little bit about the kind of style, if it's your traditional half-court offense, half-court defense. Just tell us a little bit about what kind of game you really want your team to focus on throughout the course of the season, because for some of them, the Grinnell system is all they've been taught in college.
Well, we hope to run a system where we score more points than the other team.
Okay, that's good.
That's the bottom line. We'll be running a more traditional system. Hopefully we will be really good defensively in the half court and be able to make something happen with different coverages, whether it's ball screens or you know, how we handle different actions, then expand our defense out from there. You know, there's not a coach in the country that's going to tell you that they're going to walk the ball up and down the floor. But, you know, there's points in games where maybe that's what needs to happen. So We'll push the ball up and down the floor. If we can get a great shot in 5 seconds, we'll take it. But if it takes 30 seconds to get a great shot, we hopefully will be tough enough and disciplined enough to be able to do that.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that I find it interesting is that you're in kind of a nice spot where Brandon Knocker is another coach for you. He was, of course, with Doug Porter last year, so at least he's gotten to be with this team a little bit. Just tell us a little bit about what Brandon has done that you've liked in terms of whether it's looking at other teams and scouting. I know we're not at that point yet. We're getting close to that at this point. But just tell us a little bit about what Coach Knocker has done at this point that has really kind of helped you keep him on the staff here for the women's team.
He is the brains of the outfit. He knows what's going on and keeps me pointed in the right direction. He's our lead recruiter, and that's obviously incredibly important. Recruiting is the lifeblood of any program, but with the experience that he had going through the conference schedule last year and the people that he knows on the women's side, he has proven to be incredibly valuable.
We take a look at the schedule right here, of course. And we'll get to the Crossroads League here in just a second. But some of the teams you play, you'll open up your season on October 27th against Cornerstone, and then you'll play 3 CCAC teams in IU South Bend, a very, very solid group, Governor State, and then Holy Cross. They had a good season last year. Before you get into conference play, you also play St. Francis and IU Northwest. So when it came to those opponents, what was it about those teams in particular? I mean, again, IUSB last year had a really good season, and they're looking to be strong again. So just tell us a little bit about the reason why you decided on those non-conference opponents.
Well, here's what I would say about our non-conference schedule. I had nothing to do with it. So it's a great schedule. It was put together. We made some changes on dates and moved some games around a little bit to fit better our academic schedule. But that schedule was already put together. But I don't know that I would have changed much of anything. I think Cornerstone is a team that makes sense to play every year from the conference in Michigan. IU South Bend is obviously really close, and it makes sense to play them every year. Governor State's not a long trip. The good thing is we can play quality people and not have to go very far to do that. Now, that doesn't mean we don't want to take trips, and we will do that to play folks. But we're looking forward to. Particularly right now, we're looking forward to October 27th when Cornerstone comes here.
Oh, absolutely. As a former player, I can tell you that first game just can never come soon enough. And we take a look at last year's standings, and, of course, again, the positive or the upside for you is that you've also seen the men, and, of course, the Crossroads League is, and again, in my opinion, one of the most challenging conferences to compete in anywhere in the NAIA. And, of course, last year, the same way with the women's side. As you know, Marion ranked number 4, Indiana Western ranked 12th, St. Francis always has a solid year. And the Bethel still had that 8 spot. So what are some of the biggest benefits to competing in the Crossroads League where you'll have to go up against a top 5 team and then another top 15 team, but you also know that you're playing good quality opponents? So what are some of the biggest benefits of competing in the Crossroads League?
Well, I don't know if this is a benefit or not, but if you don't bring your A game, you're probably not going to get beat by 3, right? So it's quality competition every night, whether it's home or away. And if you want to play for a championship, if you want to be the best, and you've got to be able to compete against those type of teams. And like you mentioned, the Marions and Indiana Wesleyan, St. Francis, Taylor, Mount Vernon, Grace, all those teams are high quality teams. And I would agree with you that the Crossroads League arguably is the best NAIA conference in the country.
And finally, as we wrap things up here, at least for your interview, what is the biggest message after this first season? Because it's your first season with this program. What is the biggest message or lesson that you want your players to take away, having been under your direction in your first year as the head coach for the Pilots?
I don't know if this would be a popular answer, but and this is, I guess you could call it coach speak, but it really is a one day at a time thing. What we're focused on right now is getting ready for practice tomorrow, and getting better tomorrow as we prepare for that October 27th opener, and then we'll take it from there. And that's, I think, very applicable to life. We want to take it one day at a time. We want to do each day as well as we possibly can do it, and then that helps us prepare for the next day. Learn those lessons that we need to learn, and hopefully our young ladies will grow and mature as we go through this season. And I know that there's going to be ups and downs. There is for every team at every level, and hopefully we'll be do a great job of learning those lessons that we need to learn so we can become the best team we possibly can.
Well, Coach, we look forward to seeing how the Pilots do throughout the course of this season. Thank you so much for taking time to come up and chat with us.
Appreciate it.
Once again, Scott Polsgrove, the first-year head coach for the Bethel Pilots women's basketball team. We'll be back with more live from the Y Camp Athletics Center here on the campus of Bethel University. It's Bethel Women's Basketball Media Day right here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.